Hi there, and welcome to ADHD Adventures, or should I say, Adventures with ADHD, Season 2, where today I have got a super special episode where the ultra brave Nikki Butler takes part in a comedy improv session, and she's never done it before. I mean, if that's not brave, I don't know what is. So do watch the session. If you want to get straight to the comedy without the warm up and the explanations, then I suggest you head up to 8 minutes. If you want to watch the whole thing to see how it works, then go ahead. And I hope you enjoy it and have some laughs along the way. So, have you done improv before?
No.
Okay.
The first thing that struck me, you were like, I'll tell you the rules. I'm like, oh my God, do you expect me to remember the rules?
There's only three.
Okay, I'm going to write them down.
Write them down.
Hit me with the rules.
Well, before I hit you with the rules, so yeah, basically it's making stuff up on the
Okay.
spot.
Yeah.
So what we'd do, if there was someone else with us, we would get them to suggest a location. But as it's just us, what we'll do is we'll just take it in turns to choose. But don't
Okay.
worry about that at the moment. So yes, the three golden rules are listen.
Yeah.
So if I say to you, "Oh, Deirdre, there's a dinosaur flying above your head," listen to what I say and respond to that.
Okay. So
Don't
not
don't
just
go
a random statement. It's got to be in response to what you've said.
absolutely brilliant. Yes, because it improv works. Basically, how it works is working together.
Okay.
You're building stuff together. Okay, so it's great for listening. Accept what I say. So if I call you Deirdre and tell you that there's a dinosaur,
Yeah.
you have to accept the reality of what I've just said.
Yep.
So you have to accept that you're Deirdre,
Yep.
and you have to accept that there is a dinosaur. You can't say, don't say, oh, that's not a dinosaur, it's a bird,
Yeah.
because it kind of kills the scene, blocks
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah. Commit. Rule number three, commit. So if I call you Deirdre,
I'm
you be,
Deirdre.
you become Deirdre.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whoever Deirdre is to you.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
you can make Deirdre whoever you want.
So do you
Um,
change voices or do you just speak normally?
it's entirely up to you. I often put on an accent, which is funny. Having ADHD, I can like go in with a really strong accent. And if it's a longer scene, I sometimes forget what accent I started with. But that's improv. It doesn't matter, you know?
So I can't do accents, and I mean this in a completely PC way, but every time I try and do an accent, I sound Indian. That's just how it all just goes down that route. So I've tried to do Scouse accents, and my friend's like, literally, what do you hear? That's not a Scouse accent. I can't.
No, you don't have to do accents, but what other ways of creating characters? I mean, this is a bit more advanced, but is changing your voice slightly. So it might be like,
Do
"Oh,
that.
hello there, Deirdre.
Yeah,
It's really nice to see you today."
yeah, I can do
Um,
that.
yeah, so feel free to experiment with voices. And that's it really. If you apply those three rules to everything we do, because there's lots of different games,
Yeah.
then it will work. If
Okay.
if you don't, it doesn't work. And if
Yeah.
you don't apply those rules, don't worry, I'm not going to have a
Yeah.
go at you. I'll just say,
Yeah.
oh, remember,
Yeah.
remember. So let's just get warmed up. We're
Okay.
going to ask each other. This game is called Sausages.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question to which your response is going to be with commitment, sausages.
Okay.
Like you totally believe the answer
Yeah.
is sausages, okay?
Yeah.
And then you'll ask me, we'll take it in turns. So, Nikki, what's that sticking out of your ears?
Oh, sausages.
Right, okay, good commitment. So if you ask me a question,
Susie, what can you see out the window at the moment?
oh, sausages, they're just fluttering down by my window.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Nikki, what do you put into your breakfast bowl every morning?
Oh, sausages.
Nice. Yeah. Your turn.
Susie, what's hanging on your washing line at the moment?
sausages.
Good for
Yeah,
this weather.
yeah. Gets really dry,
Yeah.
Okay. Next game. That was perfect, by the way. Just
Okay.
total commitment. Do you see what I
Yeah.
mean by the
Yeah,
commitment?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
believe it.
sausages. Yeah. Um, so what are you doing? Basically, this game is to get the brain and body warmed up. Please, can you move your arms about and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so don't do anything that's gonna kind of be a big movement,
Yeah.
actually. So we'll keep the movements small.
Yeah.
And if there's something you can't do, just kind of adapt, make it up
Okay. Yeah.
small. So
Yeah.
basically, I'm going to be performing an everyday action. So I might be doing this,
Yeah.
and you're going to say, Susie, what are you doing? And I'm going to carry on doing this. Why would be using two brushes? So I'm brushing my hair, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say something very different, like I'm making a pizza. And
Yeah.
then when I say what I'm doing, you then start to make your pizza.
So
So I,
I will ask you what you're doing. You're brushing your hair. I'll say what you're doing. You'll say make a pizza, and I'll just start to make a pizza.
yeah, and then I
Right.
say to you very quickly while you're making your pizza, Nikki, what are you doing? And you carry on making your pizza, but you say something completely different, and I do that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of
Okay.
quick fire.
Right.
So
Okay. Susie, what are you doing?
I'm petting my pet mouse.
Oh,
What are you doing, Nikki?
I'm about to clean my teeth. I've got to go out.
Oh,
What are you doing, Susie?
I am singing because I'm a pop star.
La la la, la la la, la la la, la
Nikki, what are
la
you
la.
doing?
I'm just plaiting my hair because I love to have plaits in my hair all the time. La la la. Oh, what are you doing there, Susie?
I'm swimming with sharks. Good, great. Nikki, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just on a lilo chilling out. Oh, what are you doing there, Susie?
I am, what am I doing? I'm digging for worms and seeing. Okay, stop. Good. So, a complete natural, as I thought. Great commitment, good listening, and just going with it. That's what makes improv really good.
Okay, cool.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
If your brain does get stuck when we're doing some conversations, just be patient, trust that something will come. If you really can't think of something, bearing in mind you're just responding to what I say, um, you could say, "Oh, I don't know what to say," if you're really stuck, and then I will help you out because I'm your
Okay.
scene partner. Um, so the way to start a scene is it's called making an offer. So it could be something physical. I could pass something to you and you accept it. You don't have to like it, but you accept it. Um, or and it's always good to give each other a name.
Okay.
So we're never ourselves because we're acting.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass you something or pretend to pass you something,
Yeah.
give you a name, pretend to pass it to you, and you accept the reality and just make a comment. The comment could be as simple as thank you or this is horrible, whatever comes to your mind.
Okay. So do we set the names before we start?
No.
Right. Okay. So I've got to remember the names. Okay.
Again, don't worry.
Okay.
I'm always forgetting what names I've given people, so
Yeah.
don't worry.
Yeah. All right then.
It's more anyway, yeah. So,
Yeah.
so I'll go first, by the way.
Yeah.
So you can take your time to think. Oh, Gloria, I found this in your kitchen sink. It's a little finger. Please take it.
Thanks, Mabel. I don't really know where that came from. I think I did have one of my nieces round the other day, I didn't check whether she had all of her fingers when she left.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So what you did there, you gave me a name, you accepted it, and you built on it as well.
Okay.
So, which is great because then
Okay.
that gives me, if we were going to carry that scene on,
Yeah.
which you do later on, you'd make
Yeah.
them longer. You've brought in the niece, the fact that you didn't check her fingers, so that will give me more to work
Yeah.
with. That was
Okay.
great. Well done.
Okay.
So, um, in your own time, you'll pass something to me.
Okay. Morris, I found this outside. Does it belong on something that should go in the garden?
Oh, Jeffrey, you're always picking up the dog poo. Yes, I will put it in my garden this time, but I'm not happy with it. So, well done. What I didn't tell you, which I should have done, but it's a learning moment. Just tell me what it is you're giving to me.
Ah, okay. So right. So not like I think it belongs in the garden.
Yeah.
Right.
Which it was fine because I then decided what it was.
Yeah.
If I'd said, oh yes, okay, I'll take it, and both of us not saying what it is, it's a bit confusing for us two
Yeah.
and for any audience. I know we haven't got
Okay.
an
Yeah.
audience. So yeah, I forgot to say name it.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
and don't be afraid to name things, just it is what it is.
Yeah.
But and oh, Pipsy. Sorry, my dog's sitting on the wire. He's desperate to play. And try not to ask questions as well.
Right.
Sorry,
Okay.
I should
Yeah.
have said this
Yeah. That's cool.
because with improv you want to just get to the point.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So instead of oh Sarah, what would you like to drink? It would be like,
Yeah.
here you go, Sarah, here's your gin and tonic, you know?
Right. Okay.
So couple more like that and
Yeah.
we'll do something different, okay? Because you've got this. I thought you might. Okay. Uh Here, Ronald, here's the bag of cash. I want you to look after it. I'm not looking after it, mate. I'm out.
I'm really sorry. I've got to stop that because my loads of stuff popped up on my screen, so that would have gone on the recording. Sorry. Thinking that. Sorry, it really flipped through me. I didn't send. Right. Sorry.
That's all right. You ready?
Yeah.
Ronald, take this bag of cash. I can't look after it in my house. My missus won't like it. Take it.
Oh, Arthur, I've got so many bags of cash now.
Brilliant. And that is a lovely comedy twist. Like it. So
Okay.
something unexpected. Good, you're a natural, right. So I think let's carry on with scene work because I think we're on a flow here.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is we'll start. Oh, sorry. So you can start it by handing something physical, but you can always also start a scene by suggesting a relationship.
Okay.
So basically, how do we know each other?
Yeah.
So what we'll do is I'll do that and you just respond however you feel to respond. So I'm going to give you a name
Yeah.
and I'm going to, through what I say to you next, that will let us and the audience who are not here know who we are to each other.
Okay.
So,
And then do I just say whatever I want to say back to that, or?
yeah, yeah. So you just, like we did just now, you just
Yeah.
accept the reality and respond. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Dr. Partridge, my left leg is looking a bit green. Help me.
Mrs. Ambrose, you were only in last week and it was the right leg that was a little bit blue.
Well, yes, I appear to have a problem which it's for you to solve, Doctor.
Now, I don't mean to be unkind, but have you been letting the grandchildren draw on you with their felt tip pens again?
Yes.
Have you had a wash since the last time they drew on you, perhaps?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't wash.
Mrs. Ambrose, I'm going to suggest that you get some good old fairy suds on those legs of yours, and you come back to me if you've still got blue or green legs.
Thank you, Doctor. You're always so kind.
Oh, you're very welcome, Mrs. Ambrose.
Well done. So we let that run for a bit longer. So this is how, once you've got the basics, which you
Yeah.
have, we let them go a bit longer. And also with two people, when there's more, you would be having an interaction, and then I would stop the scene. So it's a bit
Yeah.
harder but it's fine.
Yeah.
So what I'd like you to do then is kind of give me a name and somehow let us know who we are to each other, and I will respond. Take your time.
Okay. Sheila, darling, do you remember the time that Mummy spat tea out all over you?
Well, yes, of course I remember. It happened every Tuesday at 9 a.m. I'm a bit hurt that you're bringing it up, to be honest.
Well, I don't think it was really aimed necessarily at you unkindly. I always thought it was those coffee biscuits she had.
Right. Yes, they did seem to make her choke because they had chili bits in them, didn't they?
They did, but I also remember her snorting terribly and her tea coming out of her nose.
And yes, it went all over me, and I just thought it was because she didn't like me.
Oh no, darling, I don't think it was that. I just think that she didn't really know that you just don't have coffee biscuits with tea.
What a fool. Good.
What a fool.
Good one. So that's what I love about improv. It's just so random. It's just like you've got to think of some.
Yeah.
No. Um, Try not to ask a question, that's all. You said, do you remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I could have said remember. Can I say remember when or not?
um
What about that time?
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And it's the thing is with improv, like it's so good because especially for flexibility of thought, because
Yeah.
you could go in with like, I know where this is going, but then the other person completely changes it and you have
Yeah.
to keep adapting really quick.
Yeah.
So okay. How we're doing for time? You all right to go for another 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Um, Once again, right. So you know how to start a scene now. And basically from now on, we'll choose a location.
Okay.
So it could be a place of work,
Yeah.
it could be the beach in Spain, it could be like anywhere, okay? But we'll choose that at the start of the scene. So this game is called Once Again. So we'll do a tiny scene like we just did. And then when we stop it, we're going to do it once again, but with an added emotion.
Okay.
So it's the same scene. Don't worry, you won't. Well, I don't remember it word for word. People
Yeah.
rarely,
Yeah.
but try and keep the words similar. It's just the emotion that changes.
Okay. I'll try. What immediately I guess that springs to my head with that is like I don't even when I was just doing that, I don't even remember what I was saying.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm
Okay.
gonna try and make it short. And it's not just you, it's me as well. So we can help each other through it.
Okay.
And if it creates a whole new scene, do you know what? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's improv.
Yeah.
So, location. Give me a place of work.
Um, on the dustbins.
Okay, so we work together. Yeah, we're colleagues.
Yeah.
Clearing dust. I can't even remember what the name is. That working with dustbins. Okay.
Yeah.
What I will say is a good point to point this out. Um, wherever you are, it's always about the relationship rather than
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Okay.
So we might refer to the dustbins, but we don't make the whole scene about the
Yeah.
dustbin.
Yeah.
Um, okay, short scene. I'll try and keep it short. It's hard to direct and act at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, here, Colin, do the bins, mate. I'm gonna have a cigarette.
Dan, you have a cigarette every time that number 36 smelly bin's out.
Well, the thing is, I don't like the smell. You're right, and it makes me feel a bit sick. So, if you wouldn't mind, just do it, mate, this time.
Dan, I don't like the smell either, mate. It makes me feel sick. It ain't my best aftershave. I have to go home to the missus after I've emptied that bin.
You still with your missus after all this time?
Barely. She gives me earache all the time, and that smell ain't gonna help me.
Oh, you know what? I don't know what, to be honest. I'm not doing it, so you do it or it don't get done, mate.
Do you know what? We could always ask that new lad Colin to do it. Get him
Let's
to do
do
it.
that. Okay. Right. So yeah, we're gonna do the same scene once again. Don't worry, it's still just us at the bins again.
Okay.
But what emotion can we add to the mix?
Uh, anger?
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna ramp it up a bit. What did I call? Do you remember what your name is?
No. I called
I
you
thought
Dan.
I thought you were Colin, but then
You
oh,
might,
that's
I
all right.
might have been, you
Nick,
might have called me Colin, but that I then referred to the young lad Colin. Doesn't
that's
matter.
all
We can have
right.
two Collins on the
Of
bin.
course, yeah. All right, okay. See, once again with anger. For goodness sake, Colin, you do that bin. I ain't doing it. I'm having a cigarette.
Dan, I'm sick of this. Every single time you tell me to do that bin, it's just because you don't like the fact that number 36 bin smells.
Do you know what, mate? I couldn't give two hoots what you think. It does smell, and I ain't doing it. So just do it, mate.
I ain't doing it. I have to go home to the missus after like smelling like that bin. It ain't my favourite aftershave, you know.
You know what? I can't even believe you're still with your missus. You're just so aggressive all the time. How can she
I,
still be with you?
I'm barely with her. To be honest, she's really hard work and it ain't going to help smelling of that bin.
Well, I ain't doing it, so I just suggest you do it, mate.
Well, I ain't doing it. I reckon we get that new kid, Colin, to do it instead.
Sure, let's do it.
Fine.
Yeah. Well done. So what did you notice about your initial thought about forgetting the scene?
I didn't forget it. It was like it. I did. I mean, it wasn't word for word, but it was much easier to hold the theme of what was said than I thought it was going to be. And I
Wow.
think that that worried me, and because I know what for me with like my ADHD, I know how easily things go out. And when we were doing those initial improv bits, like there was no thought in it, and I can have conversations where it's like a blurt out and gone. But yeah, that didn't happen.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So got a game, and it's a slightly more challenging game. However, having assessed your abilities,
Pressure.
yeah, it's called the alphabet game. So basically, the structure is that we'll have a location and we'll have a relationship. We'll decide that in advance. But each line, and I apologize if it's too much for you, but give it a
Yeah.
go, see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah.
Each line we say begins with the next letter of the alphabet. So if I start with A, for example, I might say, um, Angie, your your performance in this office is pretty shocking, and your response would start with B.
Yeah.
But or
Or
boggle,
Beatrice, like
yeah,
mind
yeah,
your own business.
yeah, yeah. So if we try and give each other names early on, and then
Okay.
my next line would be C. Come on, you got to pull your weight.
Yeah. Okay.
If either of us forget what letter is next, which happens, we
Yeah.
can help each other out. You are allowed to say D or,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know,
All right then.
are you up for that?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go for it.
Right. So let's pick a location. Where are we?
I reckon we're on the beach in Spain.
Yeah, okay. And how do we know each other?
Sisters?
Sisters. Okay, fab. And another side note, in improv, it's always best when people do know each other.
Okay.
Okay, just a little side note. So we're on a beach in Spain and we're sisters. Okay, I will start and we finish when we get to the letter Z.
Okay. Oh, I can't. Let me see if I can get rid of these. Did, I don't want these on recording. It keeps flashing. Shut everything down and it keeps doing my flashing up what my emails are.
Oh, okay. I can't see anything, so
Oh, okay, that's cool.
it probably won't
Won't
record.
record it. Yeah, I just didn't want it to come across the screen.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're on a beach in Spain and we're
Yeah, we're
sisters.
sisters.
Okay. Um, Amy, pass me the sun cream. I'm getting burnt on my shoulders.
Babs, it's under your sun lounger.
Crikey. It must be all that tequila I drink. Of course it is.
Don't stop drinking tequila just on that account.
Uh, each shot tastes as good as the last.
Forget that. Each shot tastes better than the last.
Great times we have on our yearly holiday. I really cherish the time spent with you, Ames.
Holidays are my favourite time, and there's no one else I'd rather go with.
I just hope that, when we're 70, we'll still be coming here to Marbella.
Just think of all the fun we could have. What's your favourite moment?
Kicking, when you when we're in that nightclub and you started kicking that guy for no reason.
Look, he totally deserved it. He needed a kicking.
My word, his shins were well battered though. You drew blood, Ames.
No, his thighs were far worse when I got my stilettos out.
Oh my gosh, it's a bit random how, like, when you have a bit of tequila and whiskey all at once, you start, well, aggressive. That's all I can say.
People just don't understand the impact it is when you have the tequilas, your mind goes.
Quick, there's a sunbed over there. Grab it.
Really? I can't see it from here. You get to it first.
Shut up. I don't want to get up. I'm tanning evenly. If I get up, it's gonna, ruin it.
Tanning evenly, like tan lines, you need to keep moving to get an even tan.
Ugly is what I'll look if I start moving around. I know you say that's how you get an even tan, but look, I'm looking at yours and it ain't even, doll.
Very dramatic, as always.
Well, what can I say? It's just our sisters having fun, ain't it?
X-ray vision on over there. Have you seen his budgie smugglers?
Yeah, I can't stop staring at them. It's gorgeous, isn't he?
Zulu warrior, that's what he looks like.
Scene.
I don't know if we skipped any, did we?
I don't think so. I'd lost track a bit, but thank goodness you were on it, so I could keep. Sometimes you go out of the, yeah, you can imagine. But oh my God, well done. What did you think of that game?
Yeah, I really liked it. And again, like actually what the improv's been really good for me is where things I've like made assumptions about my brain and how it works. Like I always think I can't keep track of the alphabet or I forget things immediately. It's actually really empowering because I guess it's liberating. So I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. I don't feel self-conscious. So at no point have I worried about what I'm saying. I'm sure my facial expressions were hilarious because I didn't feel like I was sort of had any inhibitions with it. But it kind of made me realize that my brain, and I want to say the word better, but that my brain works better than I thought because I'd always been told you're forgetful, you don't retain information, you can't what you can't do. And actually that's not true. So I
Wow.
think that as much, it's great for like laughing and having fun and having that bit of freedom. But even just that kind of short bit of doing some improv, I can see how it would be hugely beneficial for neurodivergent people because your brain's working in a different way and it can give you the confidence to know how your brain can work and the power of it and being into how different environments are like create more kind of fun and freedom. I think that's really powerful. I loved it.
Brilliant. Thank you. And I love what you've just said because it's not just me saying all this stuff. You've just literally experienced it and that is, 10 minutes. We've done about 15 minutes of improv and
Yeah,
it is powerful, isn't it?
really powerful. And I think I'd never, to be honest with you, I didn't really know what it was. And sort of when we talked about doing this, I didn't Google it because I thought, right, I don't want to do what I would normally do, which was like Google the arse out of something and have some preconceptions. And so I thought, you know what, I'll just wait for you to explain it to me. I'll go with the flow. Because then it's like authentic. I'm really big
Yeah,
on that. Like it's something's
yeah,
got to be authentic. If it's contrived and I'd shown up having practiced some scenes in my head or thinking about what I was going to say, which
yeah,
is what I would do in a social situation, I would totally be thinking about where am I going? Who might I see? What conversations might I have? What would happen if that didn't all play out? And this takes away all of that. And
yeah.
I can see that longer term, it could help with those social situations where I'm always worried and like almost rehearse what I will say and try and find out who's going to be there, look at the layout of a place. But it would give me the confidence to turn up and think it's okay if you don't know what's going to be said and you don't know what you might say. Admittedly, I can blurt out some really random stuff, but that's probably because I'm anxious. Whereas this, I feel, could give me the confidence to be able to go to a social environment that I'd never go to, maybe listen to what's being said and respond rather than being in my head and rehearsing what might be said and what I might say in response. And if that person doesn't say what I thought they would say, my response would be inappropriate because that's all I've rehearsed. Do you see what I mean? And and this is just thinking about it like off the cuff, but I could see how this would be really powerful in a doesn't matter that you don't know the people or what's going to be said. Listen, like commit, be present, and then respond. That's really powerful tool set.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, totally, 100%. And it takes away all that pressure and that anxiety of what should I say, what shouldn't I say? Oh, how should I respond?
Yeah.
Respond in the moment to what's being said.
Because I don't think a lot of, so I would never ever pre-meeting you have thought about improv. So when I first started working with you and you were like a neurodivergent coach and improv comedy, and I'm like, I thought they were two totally separate things. I'm like, I don't get how that kind of works together. Now I totally do because it's really, really freeing for people that kind of like the situation I've just explained. And it's like almost like the golden egg of you can do all of this work to understand yourself, but how do you find some freedom or confidence in that? And that's where I think this is like, and that's after like a really short little session with you. I can see how unbelievably powerful that would be to taking away that anxiety and not rehearsing conversations that might never take place
Yeah,
and then coming away from a conversation maybe going home and ruminating and having anxiety about it because if I didn't have that preconception and planning in the first place it
nothing
wouldn't
to,
happen.
Yeah, it's nothing to ruminate over.
Yeah,
You might even come away from it thinking, oh, well, that was a nice chat I just had with so and so.
yeah.
And not just a chat, yeah, like a connection because it was meaningful because you were responding and hopefully they're responding to what you say as well.
Because I can sometimes find in like a conversation where I have that like, oh my, it's different at work because it's my super subject. But even then I can be going off, on a ramble, and we might be talking about a skin treatment, and I might realize I'm talking too much and say, have you seen this program on Netflix? That is A, not linked to the conversation, B, probably an irrelevant program and slightly inappropriate maybe for the target audience, but I'll do it because I'll just panic and think, but I
Yeah.
think that not sometimes I find that because I've got so much anxiety about what a conversation might be and what I should say, sometimes I don't listen. I almost wait for
Mm,
anxiously wait for a moment that I've got to speak, and I've already thought, right, well, when they stop, I'm going to say this. So you're
yeah,
not actively listening.
yeah,
And sometimes, yeah, so I feel like that could be really powerful with that.
yeah, totally. It really, honestly, it's changed my life
Yeah,
and how I kind of interact and stuff. And just to honestly, the reason I'm so chilled out, like I can go and meet new people now, and I never thought I would be able to because I just know that I don't have to say something. I don't
yeah,
have to be the first, it's just you can step back and
yeah.
yeah,
And I guess even off the back of the coaching session that we've had, which was about me not feeling like I can reach out or have connections because I don't know what to say and it's awkward, that just literally the improv is an antidote to that, isn't it? Yeah, I
yeah,
loved it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I'll definitely be booking in for more sessions with you.
brilliant. And you must come to my improv class.
Oh no, I'm
It's
gonna,
so
yeah,
much fun.
definitely.
I know it's in the evening, which is a bit tricky. What was I going to say? How could you use what you've done in improv today on any level with your actions that you're going to take about connecting in the group?
Um, so I am going to reach out to Lauren, but when I post on there, and if I as I start to build connections, I'm gonna be authentic. I'm just gonna not contrive what I want to say or how I feel. And if people contact or communicate with me, I will won't overthink what I'm going to say or how I want that interaction to be. I'll just let it be more natural,
Wow,
um, and more fluid. So I
nice.
think it will be. I have less fear about connecting. Um, there's lots. It's kind of all going around in my head. 'Cause there's lots of things that I could do very differently now as a result of kind of what I've just experienced with this, of where it could be beneficial.
Yeah,
Um, and if somebody wants to have a chat with me on the phone, whereas I might try and restrict things to like a text where I can think through my answer or a messenger, might be more inclined to say, shall we have a chat
wow.
or a Zoom and I would normally only do a Zoom in an environment that I know what's going to happen, like with my clients or
Yeah,
so I think it could, yeah, that's what I will do.
that's
If anybody wants to connect with me, I rather than just enter into a lot of messaging, I will suggest we either speak or do a Zoom.
wow. Let me know how you get on.
I will.
Well, thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun working with Nikki on this project, and I hope you can see the benefits of comedy improv in such a safe and supportive setting. If you'd like to try comedy improv, or if you'd like to try coaching, or if you'd like to try both at once, then get in touch with me at www.susiepayton.com and we can have a chat.